Morning children. So today we are going to learn about the motion of the earth. It's your second lesson. So in previous lesson we learned about our earth and solar system. Okay, the solar system means our earth is a unique planet. Okay, and these are also called a heavenly bodies. So all that 8 planets revolve around the sun in the solar system. So we have to learn about how earth rotate or how earth revolves around the sun and what causes due to its rotation and revolution of the earth in this lesson. So let's learn about the motion of the earth. So see, motion. Motion means movement. Motion means the movement, the any object that turns around itself actually turns around a certain imaginary line. The turning of an object around itself, that is called rotation. Earth rotate around its axis. So if you have seen a top, have you seen the top? It's a top. Okay, it is a top. So it rotates when you when you rotate the top, it rotates along its axis. It is the axis of top. Okay, this is the axis of top. It's a top. So it rotates around its axis. So it's an imaginary line. It is an imaginary line. So it is that rotates is called the axis of rotation. Axis of rotation. Likewise, our earth rotates. Likewise, our earth rotates on an imaginary line. On an imaginary line with its axis inclined like. So that is that line. So that causes the North Pole as well as on the South Pole. Suppose taken this is our earth, picture of our earth. So it's an axis. So that represents the North Pole, and this it is the represent the South Pole. And in between a equator, that is that earth divides into two parts. So this part is a equator. So it is equator. Okay. So equator that divides our earth. This is the northern hemisphere and it's a southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And for northern hemisphere, it's a southern hemisphere. In between these two, it is an equator. It divides our earth into two equal parts. So let's see. It would divide the earth into two equal parts. This imaginary circle that is called the equator. The two equal parts, it makes the earth, that is northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So it rotates when you see a, do you know the globe that shows the structure of the earth? When it rotates from west to east, As the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun. We know that we get a light from the sun. The part which faces to the light of the sun, suppose it is a sun. Suppose here is the sun. Okay, it is our earth. So the part which faces towards the sun, that portion represents the day. Means sunlight falls on this portion, so that represents the day, whereas the portion which is away from the sun, that represents the night. Our earth rotates from west to east. Our earth rotates from west to east, so that in this same order, turn away from it's also the same order. The earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun one after the other and turns away from it also the same order. You know, our earth rotates from west to east. After one sunrise, when the next one occurs at the night, है ना, एक दिन. So the period of time that earth takes place to complete one rotation is called one day. When the earth rotates, in how many hours? It takes 24 hours. So that is our earth rotates in one day. It considered to be one day. जैसे कि earth का one rotation complete होता है, we consider it is a one day. So it takes place 24 hours to complete one rotation. Okay. So we divide the whole day into 24 parts. So each called an hour. Each part called an hour. So it takes 24 hours. So it rotates in 24 hours. That is one. It considered to be the one day. Understood? Then the period of time the earth takes to complete one revolution. You know the rotation and the revolution. So the period of time to complete one revolution around the sun is called revolution. Means earth takes place 365 days to complete one revolution. The two structure, that is the rotation and revolution. Okay, so rotation completes in a 24 hours. That is one day. Understood? And revolution completes the 365 days and 6 hours. So this much time required to complete one revolution. So we say it is considered to be 1 year. This is considered to be 1 year. Okay. So these two terms are there, very much important. So there are about 365 days and 6 hours in a year. But one thing, remember, in the Gregorian calendar, the year is taken to have 365 days. It means that it counts 6 hours less every year. That makes 24 hours or 1 day in every 4 years. To make up for this, the lost 1 day. Okay. In Gregorian calendar has the extra day every 4th year. Means 366 days in 1 year. In that we consider the February days of 29 days. 366 days are there. that we called a leap year. उसमें we consider the February has 29 days. Understood? Okay. So that Earth's inclined axis and its revolution around the sun. This happens because of Earth's inclined axis and its revolution around the sun. So in northern hemisphere, at that time what happens in northern hemisphere between 22nd March and 23rd of September, the days are longer than the nights. In that period, the days are longer than the nights. Whereas in southern hemisphere, the nights are longer than the days. The earth gets less heat in these parts and therefore it consider winter in southern hemisphere. जब northern hemisphere में summer होता है तब southern hemisphere में winter consider किया जाता है. This is due to its revolution. In the period of 23rd September to 22nd of March, the days are longer than the nights in the southern hemisphere. It gets more heat and it is summer there. Understood? Means northern hemisphere में winter है तो southern hemisphere में summer होगा और southern hemisphere में अगर summer है तो northern hemisphere में winter होगा. So that is, but in India consider the three seasons. We know three seasons, that is summer, the rainy season and winter are considered to be the main seasons in India. So we also divide the years into 6 seasons, that is Vasant, Grishma, Varsha Ritu, Sharad Ritu, Hemant Ritu and Shishir Ritu. And that is the Ritu Chakra. That cycle of 6 seasons, that is called Ritu Chakra. Okay, so many of festivals are connected with the seasons. Many of our songs and also games are also related to the different seasons. We know Raksha Bandhan, lots of seasons we celebrate every day, hai na, Holi, Raksha Bandhan. So these seasons also songs related to the different seasons. Then, so this is about the seasons, rotation and revolution. So various seasons occurs due to the revolution of the earth. Now let's another thing, that is the about moon. How is moon? Moon is the biggest object. Now we are going to learn about the moon. Moon is the biggest object in the sky and it has no light of its own. The moon shines at night because it reflects the light of the sun. Understood? It appears to be bigger than the stars, but all the stars and the planets are much bigger than the moon. The moon is the Earth's only natural satellite. Okay? So there are the moon. We can see the moon because of the sun's light that falls on it. On a full moon night, we see the entire side of moon that faces the earth. And on a new moon night, we cannot see any of it. We know every day if we observe in the sky, we see the different phases of the moon in the sky. On full moon day, we see a complete moon in the sky. And on new moon day, we see no moon in the sky. और वो दिन के बीच में देखो आप मून की साइजेस रिड्यूस होती जाएगी और कुछ दिन बाद मून की साइजेस इंक्रीज होती जाएगी, है ना. सो दैट इज these are the phases of the moon, means various phases of the moon we see in the sky. How? So see, new moon day, when the moon is in between Earth and the Sun. We cannot see the moon at all. This is new moon day. Means we cannot, no moon in the sky, that is the new moon day. Then crescent moon. Then crescent moon, as the moon moves further, you can see a small sunlight portion of moon surface, that is crescent moon. Only a small moon see in the sky. Okay, I draw the moon phases on the board. Then half moon, when the sunlight portion becomes bigger, you can see half of the moon, it is the half moon. Then gibbous moon, so when you see the more than half of the moon, it is called a gibbous moon. And full moon means we see a complete moon in the sky. So these are the various phases of the moon. So see here. It's a no moon in the sky, that is the complete portions which is in a dark. It's a new moon day. Okay, new moon. Then next is the crescent moon. So we see only few portion which is in the lighted portion, other portion which is in the dark. So this phase is the crescent moon. Crescent moon. Only this much portion it is in the lighted portion. Half se bhi kam. Then third phase, that is the half moon. Okay. And this portion is in the dark. This is half moon. It is half moon. Then we see the 3/4 portion in the light. So we see this much portion of the moon. This is the gibbous moon. Gibbous moon. And on the full moon day, after a full moon day, we see a complete moon shining in the sky. So this is the full moon. Okay, complete moon which is in the sky. So it is full moon. Full moon day. So these are the various phases of the moon when we observe in the sky. These are called the phases of the moon. Phases of moon. Phases of moon. So every day we observe this phase. So there are the different two phases. The increasing size of lighted part. Now the lighted, see here. It is the increasing sizes of the lighted part. Complete to draw this, right? Okay. You see in this picture, here no moon, then crescent moon, then half moon, then 3/4 moon means the gibbous moon, and then the full moon day. So these are the increasing sizes of the lighted part, that phase is a waxing. This phase is waxing. Waxing means increases size, increase in size of moon. Increase in size of the moon, that is waxing. And waning, two terms, okay? Waning. Waning means decreasing size of lighted part. Decreasing size. Decrease in size of moon, that is waning. Okay, this is the two terms, difference between waxing and waning. So thus the period from one new moon to the next is 28 to 30 days. So this takes 28 to 30 days. The period from new moon to the full moon, that is 28 to 30 days. Okay, so it is called the lunar month. Every day of the lunar month, that is called the तिथि. इसको हम लोग तिथि बोलते हैं. Now one new thing, the rotation of the earth gives rise to day and night, and the revolution of the earth and the inclination of the axis give rise the cycle of the seasons. The new moon 15 days, the full moon, that is these terms waxing and waning we learn. जो होता है वैक्सीन होता है, दैट इज शुक्ल पक्ष. वैक्सीन को हम लोग बोलते हैं शुक्ल पक्ष, मीन्स इंक्रीजिंग साइज ऑफ मून. और वैनिंग में दैट इज कृष्ण पक्ष. ओके, और जो भी फोर्थ वैक्सीन और वैनिंग होता है, दैट अ ल्यूनर मंथ, दैट इज कॉल्ड a lunar month. So this is about the lesson. So you have, I'm giving you some exercise questions. So you please note down questions and write answers. Okay, please note down question. Okay, answer the following questions. Question 1. Write down question 1. What is the equator? What is the equator? Okay, then what are the two parts of the earth made by the equator? What are the two parts? What are the two parts of the earth made by equator? Okay, very simple question answers. Then third, define waxing and waning. Okay, so these are the question answers. So write down these answers, and you have to draw the phases, different phases of the moon in copy. So draw the different phases of moon. Okay, children. So this is about the motion of the earth. So let's revise once again. So we learn in this lesson that is the rotation of the earth and revolution of the earth. Rotation of earth causes day and night, whereas the revolution of the earth causes different seasons. Then revolution of the moon around earth give rise the phases of the moon. Different phases we see: full moon, new moon, crescent moon, half moon, gibbous moon, and the full moon. Then the period from one new moon to the next is called lunar month. It has about 28 to 30 days. Then the fourth night ending on the full moon is that of the waxing moon, and the fourth night that ends on a new moon, that is the waning moon. The days of lunar month are called tithis. Okay, so I think all of you have understood the concept that is about motion of the earth. Okay, so thank you, children.